Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. I'm still playing a little bit with some paints from Walmart. Simply Acrylic by Daler Rowney. This is violet, dark blue, red, or it might have been called crimson, I'm not sure. It's just the bright red. Primary yellow, orange. I do have some light green. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. And I'm going to mix one more for you right here and now. I'll do it in a small cup just because there's not a lot of paint left in the tube. I don't know. It's maybe an ounce of paint. This one is called purple. This one is called violet. But to me they should be reversed. But that's the way they name them. So I mix everything 1-to-1 ratio with Floetrol, latex based. So you always want to do latex based. The other colors are already mixed. I used them in a different pour already. And what I'm going to do is just take the little bit of red that's on my stick and stick it right into this violet, because this violet has a reddish cast. So you can kind of get by with that if you have a color where it's similar in value. Then you can move one stick to the other, but you can't put like a green or yellow, which would have a tendency to make it go a little bit dirty and muddy looking. You have to be careful what colors you are to mix together. So this is like super thick. I'm going to add a good amount of water. My water has just a little bit of Floetrol mixed in with it, so when it comes out it's kind of a milky white water, but it's only about 10%. But I do add a little Floetrol to my water just to help it mix into the paint a little easier. So that's why it comes out a little bit white looking. That's because there's just a tiny bit of Floetrol in the water. And when your cup is full, you can't really stir very well. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing here. I put a little too much paint in my cup. So it's a little thicker than the rest, but that's okay. And I'm going to put not one squeeze, I'm going to put one drop. If I press down totally on this OGX coconut milk, I'll have a teaspoon of hair product in here, and I don't want a teaspoon. Any cup of paint that I mix up, I just put one drop. Whether it's 4 ounces or whether it's 10 ounces of color mixture with the paint and the Floetrol together, I only do 1 drop of OGX. So that's all, 1 drop. I don't squeeze the trigger down fully because you don't need that much. It takes a few stirs and then it is good to go. So I already have a cup that I started that had the purple in it, and I put what little bit of blue I had. I don't have much blue. I'm going to pour in a good amount of this color I just mixed up. And then I'm going to do the red, orange, yellow. I don't think I want any green in it this time. Look at the cells in the cup. That's the beauty of OGX, is it creates beautiful cells all by itself. Typically I flip it over. Today I'm just going to pour, I do believe. And with OGX, to me, patience is a virtue. If you feel rushed to tilt your canvas, you don't give your cells time enough to grow. So I tell people, after you pour it, let it sit. And I've got my canvas is a little tilted, I do believe, so I'm trying to keep it from tilting off to the left. I am going to pop the little bubbles I see. I don't get big cells from heat. The only reason I do it is air bubbles, and that doesn't even have to really happen. You could blow on it with your breath and pop any air bubbles just by blowing on it with your breath. So you do not have to heat it in order for it to be successful. I have some plastic just laying around. I had a stencil in it that I've taken out, and it's got some cardboard in it, so that gives it some support. So what I'm going to do is pour on this plastic just to have a pour. I like to do little pours, little mini pours, just to kind of see what happens. I'm going to put a little green, a lot of yellow, the orange, and the red. And I have some violet or purple color, so I'll put some of that in there. So I've got more than I need for this little area. So I'll take this one and I'm going to swish it around a couple of times, not much. I don't usually do that, but because it's a smaller cup and they were kind of layered on the top of each other, I did swish it a bit. So I'm going to flip it over. Pour out the magic. Pour out the magic sauce. Pop any bubbles that are there. And I'm going to tilt a little bit, and I'm going to lay this one aside, but I'm not going to tilt this one a whole lot. But this will give me some great acrylic skins to use later for jewelry or whatever the case may be. So I'm just going to put this aside and let it dry. Still some pretty paint left in the cup. I've got some plastic paper here. I'm just going to pour this on the end. Now pour that purple right in the middle, some purple and blue from another cup. Tilt it a bit. The key is not to drop it on my painting here. And I'll lay that aside to dry. It may do some cells and stuff. I'm not going to play with it too much. I'm just going to let it do its thing. I'm just going to put it on my corners just to kind of use it and get rid of it. I use my hand kind of like a bracket when I do pours to kind of stop the paint from going over the edge as much, so you don't lose all your paint off your canvas. This has made a nice fiery looking canvas. I do like the colors. This is probably my least favorite corner. I don't have a lot of paint here, so I'm just going to scoop up paint, and that helps that paint flow over the edge. So now I'm going to stretch it back a bit. So nothing super exciting about this, but I love the color combination, and it may become a background for something else that I do later. You never know. It might just be the background. So we're going to see. I'm going to let it dry this way. So that one is finished. Turn that light off so it's not reflecting so much. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Check out the links below the video. On your computer it says show more. On your mobile device it says it's the down arrow, and I have links to my tutorials where I show how to do acrylic painting if you'd like to learn how to paint other things. I have my Patreon, my PayPal link, my Amazon recommendations link if you want to find products that I use there. They don't cost you any more. It's just a regular Amazon price, but I put all of the links to everything so you have access to it below all my videos. I put the OGX and the squeeze bottles and everything in that link. And if you are a subscriber and you want to get notified when I post a new video, click on the bell on the bottom right. So I thank you for your support, and I will see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.